when people talk about socialism, they always say socialism is good, but it was never tried, which is not true, because socialism has been tried in all its formats and forms, whereas libertarianism has not really ever been really radically tried. In Argentina, we have a new president, a new party, a new movement, and that is reforming the state and bottom up, I think. And the success is obvious to everybody. The Germans, as they are very thorough in everything that they are doing, will probably create a huge economic catastrophe before they learn from the pain.
Have you changed your stance on Bitcoin yet?
Well, it's difficult. I have promised my children that they will grow up in a free world. And if that means I die for it, then I will die for it. Liberty or death.
93% of the viewers of this channel aren't subscribed. If you enjoy this content, a like, comment and a sub really helps my content show up for others too. Thanks so much for your support. Okay, good to see you. What are you doing here? Would you consider yourself a libertarian?
Well, absolutely. I am libertarian and I have radicalized myself over the last 10 years, so to speak, but not in the internet. I did that when I was reading my tax declaration.
Okay. Reading history books or tax declaration?
My tax declaration, yeah. Actually, history books is something that you should also read as a libertarian, because history is telling us history is telling us a lot of lessons with regards to the everlasting fight between socialism and liberty, because socialism stands for everything that is against liberty, against human rights, and against a civilized human society.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And does libertarianism, does it have its limits? I mean, they're talking about that the state is obsolete, but can a society without a state survive against an organized, centralized state that is trying to conquer that community, for example?
Well, you know, when people talk about socialism, they always say socialism is good, but it was never tried. Which is not true, because socialism has been tried in all its formats and forms, whereas libertarianism has not really ever been really radically tried. It does not, so we cannot say whether those limits do exist or not, because we have never tried it. But I do think that there is a way to a almost libertarian society, which is called a minimum state. I'm an advocate of the minimum state that basically reduces the role of the state to security, internal and external, and to lawmaking, and everything else should be private. And that would basically mean that the state would shrink from a state quota of 60% today in Germany to 10%. And once we are there, we can try to approach a truly libertarian society that has the state only as a reminiscent thing of the past, by simply saying, okay, we have 10% of the GDP goes into the state, and as the GDP grows over time, we are freezing what the state gets. So as the economy grows, doubles, triples, quadruples, the share of the state will continuously shrink, and at one point it will reach maybe 1%, 0.5%, and then it does not really play a big role in people's lives, other than basically setting the stage on which people can have all the liberties that they want.
A minimal state means not many small states geographically, but a state being reduced to core functions.
Oh, well, basically, that is what the minimum state says, that it's reduced to the core functions. But having many small states is a concept that probably will support getting to a minimum state, because those small states would be in competition, permanent competition. And this permanent competition will lead them to either very, very efficiently and effectively organize the common goods offering that they are offering. So that basically that would create a market for the common goods. And by introducing competition, in the end, when people can choose between many small states, the state would become a provider of certain services like any other provider of cars or IT or whatever you want. And then we would also be there.
I heard today that the saying that the state, as it is now, cannot reform itself. Does it then make sense to play according to the rules, to create something new, or have to just destroy everything, as Paul Brandenburg said? Or is it a way to actually create a new party that actually changes everything?
Well, actually, I don't think that the state or the society, if you want, which is the broader term, cannot reform itself. Argentina is proving the opposite. In Argentina, we have a new president, a new party, a new movement, and that is reforming the state and bottom up, I think. And the success is obvious to everybody. 8% growth now, just 1 year after starting the reforms. Inflation effectively eradicated. Poverty not eradicated, but reduced by 50%. The time that an average Argentinian person has to work to buy a car shrunk by 50% in that 1 year. All these things, that is basically showing that reform is possible. But societies tick differently. For example, Germany will have a long way of consciousness building in the broader population until it is able to reform itself in the very same way. But knowing that Argentina took 100 years of socialism to finally bring the people to the point to say we are electing a president who basically cleans up this mess. That means it can take a while. Although the Germans, as they are very thorough in everything that they are doing, will probably create a huge economic catastrophe before they learn from the pain. And then hopefully they will reform with the same thoroughness that they used to build this socialist dystopia.
So there must be pain first.
Yeah.
You're known for being very outspoken online. With regards to censorship, do you always say what you want, or do you think it's strategically sometimes smart to play according to the rules to still be heard and not entirely be censored? Because what's your strategy there?
Well, actually, I do say what I think. I do not censor myself.
Never.
No, I do think that censoring yourself is what they want. Once you start that, where do you stop it? And I think that everything that I say is completely compatible with our so-called liberal democratic order in Germany. And if somebody wants to censor me, I still use legal force, so to say, to get my rights, to fight for my rights. Not always successful, but in a number of instances quite successful. So you have to pick the fight. You cannot pick every fight, but you have to pick the fight. And effectively, I think it works. And the reach that I have is increasing by the day as following this strategy. I think last month, June, for the first time, we had 10 million clicks on our YouTube channel. On X, I'm approaching 300,000 followers without any professional management to date. So that is basically pure libertarian authenticity. Yeah. And that's what I think we have to do. We have to be authentic. We have to be serving the truth, and we have not to censor ourselves.
Yeah. Have you heard about Nostr?
About what?
Nostr?
No.
So Nostr is kind of the Bitcoin of social media, where you have a private key and you log into your profile, and you can use many providers, and you cannot be censored technically.
Okay.
So a lot of people from Bitcoin community are shifting there because it's impossible to be censored. You have
obviously that is something that I should have a close look into.
Yeah. And have you changed your stance on Bitcoin yet?
Well, it's difficult. My stance on Bitcoin is that it's irrelevant what I think about it, because the market will decide that. Personally,
yourself,
I have some reservations. I don't hold Bitcoin, frankly.
Why?
Yeah, because I'm a gold bug. See, the thing is that if Bitcoin works, then it will make a few people rich. Maybe quite a number of people rich, and I don't. Envy is not something that I hold. I can. In German we say, in Cologne there's this says man muss auch gönnen können. Yeah, you have to be able to be happy with other people's success. So if Bitcoin works, then some people will become very wealthy, and I will applaud them. And if not, then I was cautious enough to avoid it. I'm more of the conservative type of person in that regard. So I'm holding gold, I'm trading gold, and I know that this will be sufficient to keep me above water and to make sure that I will be able to kind of take care of all the people that I'm responsible for. That's enough for me.
But I mean, most Bitcoiners come for the gains, for the money, but they stay for the revolution. And it's also a mindset that aligns quite well with also the gold bugs.
That's true. The Bitcoin community in large parts is libertarian. And that is why I personally hope that my skepticism will be proven wrong. That's my personal hope. So I do hope that I am wrong, which is a very unusual stance on anything. But if I'm wrong, that means that Bitcoin will contribute to removing the money monopoly from the state. And there's nothing more detrimental to societies than the money monopoly of the state. That is the first thing that we must abolish. Insofar, I still hope and still believe that Milei will blow up the Central Bank of Argentina. I will travel there to watch it.
Yeah. So the money system is the base layer of the problems. It's like the systemic control that makes us...
It's the matrix. Yeah. The money system is the matrix that fools us, that basically creates a measure that we use in all our decisions, which is wrong. It's like if you use a meter measure that starts with being a meter long and then shrinks over time until it's only 1 centimeter left. That is the case with the dollar after 54 years. You know, the dollar lost against the gold 98.85% of its value, which is basically close to 99%. So it's just this meter is just 1 centimeter and 1.5 millimeter long already. So that's the dollar meter, if you want. So basically, there is no serious economic decision that you can make if this measure is shifting all the time. And that is basically the tool to rob us. It's a tool of betrayal and fraud, and to defraud us. And basically by locking up the whole population in this matrix, then it's not a matrix like the one in the Matrix movie, but it's a matrix that is as deeply ingrained in our thoughts and our thinking, our plans, and our decision-making as the matrix in the movie Matrix. There's no difference in that regard.
You talk like a Bitcoiner.
Well, it's not that I'm alien to the Bitcoin world. I sympathize with the Bitcoin world. You can even buy gold with Bitcoin very soon in my...
Then you'll have Bitcoin.
Yeah, well, only for a logical microsecond, because I don't take the position. I'm cooperating with people who are then taking the position.
The last question: how uncompromising is your fight for freedom? How much freedom are you willing to give up to fight for freedom? Because you're not living in Germany anymore, so you...
Yeah. Well, sometimes people ask me, "Are you afraid to fight for freedom?" And it's very clear. I have promised my children that they will grow up in a free world. And if that means I die for it, then I will die for it. Liberty or death.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.